addict. I was in addiction for 29 years. I started drinking at 13 and have used one drug or another my entire life, my entire adult life. Was always able to keep a job, pay the bills, and function more or less until about 5 years ago. I got into a relationship with a guy that taught me how to steal, and I started doing illegal things and doing more drugs, and I went to jail 12 times in about 3 years. They would put me on probation. I went to ISF, which is a safe P, like a state-run treatment facility. They kept reinstating my probation, and eventually I landed in drug court, which saved my life. Drug court sent me to Ada House, a treatment center here in Galveston, and that's where the mustard seed was planted. I had never had a relationship with God or been to church or had any kind of a faith. And so when I went to Ada House, we started going to church here in Galveston, Coastal Community Church, and that mustard seed was planted, and I was baptized with my Ada sisters. And unfortunately for me, I went back out. I relapsed after Ada House, and drug court picked me up real quick and put me in Braz's place. And when I was at Braz's place, I got to that point of complete surrender, completely, wanted to change everything about my life, and quit living the way I was living. So at Braz's place, a recovery coach named Barbie put the book in my hands, The Purpose Driven Life, and it got me into the Word. It got me into, knowing a relationship with God. And, I was saved in a bed in a secular treatment center in Freeport, Texas. And, my relationship started there. And I knew when I got out of there that I didn't want to go back to the same things in the same life. But I have my children and my mother here in Galveston, and I knew I wanted to be close to them. And I heard about Judy's house before it ever even opened. The same recovery coach told me about this recovery house that was going to be a discipleship home and faith-based. And I knew that's what I needed. And I put that on my exit plan, leaving Braz's place, and went home for a couple of months. And I waited for Judy's house to open, and I got to be the first lady to move in. Which was an honor. And, it taught me about faith. It taught me how to have a relationship with my higher power. And it just taught me how much God loves us. And, from there, my faith has grown tremendously. And it has laid a foundation for me in recovery that I now have a full-time job. I got my family into a better house. I'm back with them now, and life is good. And I got to watch the first 7 women come in, which was exciting. And for me, to be on the outside now looking in, like, it's amazing to me to see the light come on and to see these girls get their lives back. And, there's women in there that are, dealing with CPS and trying to get their families back and just trying to live life again. And I know for me, I had given up on myself. And so it was a place that showed me to start dreaming again. It got me to have goals again. It got me to realize that, my life wasn't thrown away, that I still had a life worth living. And I've been able to pick up the pieces and make things better than I ever thought this quick. Without Judy's house, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't be as successful already as I am today. It was a place where I was able to build a foundation of recovery, build a support system, and build just a baseline for my life like I didn't have before. And I think without Judy's house, if I had gone back to my mom's and gone back to just the same things and the same habits that I had before, I'd probably end up back on drugs like I was before, because it's always been a pattern for me. And it was getting away from people, places, and things, because a lot of what dragged me down was my old friends and associates that I had. So getting away from that and building a life with a whole new group of people in it, basing a life in recovery and faith, and it's just made the big difference for me. My name is Dianna, and Judy's house has blessed my life.